back to another video. Today's video is going to be a video that I've been wanting to do for a long time, but for some reason I've never gotten around to doing it because I'm always posting like flight attendant vlogs. If you're new to my channel, I am an Orlando based flight attendant. My name is Allie and I vlog about my life as a flight attendant and I bring you guys along my trips. So most of my channel is me doing like flight attendant vlogs. I don't really do a lot of sit down videos, and I remember when I first started my channel I used to do a lot of like informational, how to become a flight attendant, how to pack your lunch, how to pack your suitcase type of videos. And I haven't done a video like this in a while, so I used to also do like pros and cons of being a flight attendant, and a part of me kind of wants to start doing that again because I know that airlines are hiring like crazy right now. So I kind of want to start doing videos like this. Let me know if you guys want to see a video like that and what kind of topics you want me to talk about, because I will be more than happy to do so. Again, if you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe and click that notification on so that you never miss a video and you get notified whenever I post a video. So today's video is going to be things that I wish I knew before becoming a flight attendant. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to title this video just yet, but I wanted to share things that I wish I would have known before becoming a flight attendant. So I have shared my story in the past about how I became a flight attendant. I used to work in banking prior to becoming a flight attendant. I never wanted to be a flight attendant. Like, it was not something that I wanted to do for years and just thought, oh my goodness, I can't wait to be a grown-up and become a flight attendant. Absolutely not. This is something that pretty much just occurred to me one day. I didn't know a lot of things about becoming a flight attendant or what the flight attendant life was like, and back then there weren't any flight attendant vloggers. I was one of the first flight attendant vloggers, and it's been great to see so many new flight attendant vloggers come out because there's so much more information for new people that are trying to become flight attendants. So I'm going to share some of the things with you that I thought you guys would want to know before becoming flight attendant. Okay, so the first thing I want to share with you guys is the difference between mainline and regional. I don't know much about regionals because I don't work for a regional airline, but I had no idea that there was such a thing as regional and then mainline carriers. So your mainline carriers are going to be Delta, United, Spirit, American, Frontier, Southwest, like those bigger airlines like that. Those are going to be your mainline carriers, and those tend to pay a little bit more. And even in the mainline category, some airlines pay more than others. So that's something that you want to know and decide if you want to work for a mainline or a smaller airline, kind of like United Express, ExpressJet, WestJet, I think it's WestJet, American Eagle, and stuff like that. So those types of airlines work in smaller aircrafts, like really small aircrafts, and it's usually one or two flight attendants on the plane, and they go to smaller cities, and they are pretty much working the smaller flights for the mainline carriers, if that makes sense. I hope I'm explaining it right. If someone in the comments can explain it below much better than I am, please do so and correct me. But that is something that I wanted you to know, because when I was applying to become a flight attendant, I applied to every single airline that was hiring. I applied to, I think it was ExpressJet, and I actually had to choose between my airline or ExpressJet to go to the face-to-face interview. I chose to go with my airline, and I'm glad I did, but it wasn't because I was so informed on what I was doing. It was because I just went. But had I gone for ExpressJet and had I, you know, been offered the job, I would have been paid a lot less and I would have been working a lot more flights. So for example, regionals can work up to 5, maybe even more flights a day. Bigger airlines don't really work that many flights in a day, so that's also something to consider. The next thing I want to share with you guys is you have to do your research. I wish I would have known more about research. I tried doing as much research as I could, but like I mentioned earlier, there weren't a lot of flight attendant vloggers back in the day, so there weren't people putting out this information. And now that there are a lot of flight attendant vloggers, I encourage you to watch their channels, read their blogs, follow them on Instagram, and just look up any information that you can about flight attendants, especially the pay. The pay is something that is going to be very hard to figure out exact numbers because it varies per airline, and some airlines will pay you $18 to start, $20 to start, $25, $27. So it all depends on the airline that you are going to get hired with. That is going to determine how much you get paid. Another thing I wish I would have known is that commuting is possible. So what is commuting? I have a video, very old video about commuting as a flight attendant, and I commuted from California to Dallas. When I first started as a flight attendant, I was based in Dallas, Fort Worth, and that was my base. I was living in Orange County, California, and I thought my only option was to move from California over to Dallas. I thought that any base that I was assigned to, I had to move to. Had I known that, we would have probably stayed in California a little bit longer. I mean, things happen for a reason. I believe everything fell into place, but I wish I would have known this and that it was an option. So commuting means you're pretty much just going to work on an airplane instead of a car. So when I would have let's say I had a trip on Monday, I would have to leave Orange County, California on Sunday night or something like that and be in base at the time that I was required to be in base. And then after I would finish a trip, I would have to try and catch a flight on standby and fly back home. So you are flying standby, but it's definitely possible. It's a whole thing. Commuting can be a whole video on its own, but it's possible, and I just wish I would have known that. Another thing is that you get sick a lot in the beginning. In the beginning, your body's not used to being at such high altitudes all the time, going from really cold weather to really hot weather. So let's say you have a trip and one night you're laying over in Miami or Fort Lauderdale, but then the next day you're going to be in Minneapolis where it's like super cold. It's like negative degrees cold, and your body's not used to that yet. So you're still getting used to that, and then being around so many different people, and you get sick a lot in the beginning. So it's very important to take care of yourself and to know that it's not always going to be like that. You have to build up your immune system, and eventually you don't get sick as often. I remember my first year I was always sick, and I always had ear infections. I remember I had ear infections during my probation period. And oh man, that was really hard. But I managed to get through it, and you know, just know that eventually you won't be getting sick as often. And speaking of things being hard, I wanted to mention that the first year is always the hardest. You are going through a lot. You're on probation for 6 months to a year depending on your airline, meaning you're still like on a probation period where the company's trying to see if you're right for the job, and you're also trying to see if the job is right for you. They're not as lenient with you as they would be with someone that's off probation. And you're not getting paid as much. You're still getting used to the lifestyle. You're probably still trying to save up and recover from training, and you're learning a lot from the job. But once that first year passes and you start getting into your second year of flying, it's so much more different. Everything just pretty much just becomes a lifestyle, and it's very important to get past that first year. For some people it might be a little bit longer than that, or maybe not even as long. But if you ever experience that in the first year, just know, okay, I have to give it a year, and then just know that after this everything's going to be okay. And then if it's not, then I'll decide if I want a career change or not. But just know that the first year is always really hard. So now this one might sound a little weird, but I was coming from a customer service banking position, right? I was a personal banker. I was dealing with people a lot, and I expected that on flights passengers would be, you know, difficult. But I didn't realize how difficult it could be sometimes. Sometimes it could be very difficult. A lot of people, depending on the culture of the country that you're going to, they might see you different. You know, in the United States, flight attendants are seen a certain way and portrayed a certain way. In other countries, they are seen different. You know, some people might treat you different because you're a flight attendant, and not in a good way. So I wish I would have known that, just so that I could prepare myself better. It wouldn't necessarily make me not want to get the job. I just wish I would have known that to prepare myself mentally and not be so shocked when things happened or people talk to me a certain way on the aircraft. Especially now with the way things are with, you know, the situation of the world, things have been a little bit more challenging. But the great thing about this job is that even though you have a hard and difficult flight, the minute that door opens, you never have to see anyone ever again, and the day is over. This isn't a job that you take home with you, and it's amazing, and that is what I love about this job. And that is why, even though that can be a con, having difficult flights at times, the pro is that once that door opens, it's gone, it's done. You don't have to deal with it again. The next and final thing is that maintaining a healthy lifestyle is probably going to be hard at first. It's really hard to get into a routine because you are pretty much at the mercy of crew scheduling. So you go wherever they send you, whenever they send you, and you don't really get a chance to build a routine. It's not until you are able to get some sort of routine going that you're able to have a healthy lifestyle, like going to the gym, meal prepping and eating healthy. So that is something that I actually struggled with a lot in the beginning, because when I worked at a bank, I had my routine of waking up, going to the gym, then going to work, or going to work and then going to the gym. And it's not always like that. Sometimes you don't want to go to the gym because you woke up at 5 in the morning or 2 in the morning and you had to work 2 or 3 flights, and you're sometimes going to choose sleep over going to the gym, and you'll probably end up eating whatever is available to you at the hotel lobby or DoorDash or whatever's at the airport. So maintaining a healthy lifestyle is not going to be easy, but it's not impossible. I will tell you that it's not impossible, because I have been able to do it, and I'm pretty much on a journey myself to get back into a healthy routine. So like I said, it's hard, but it's not impossible. So I'm just going to end this video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for making it all the way till the end. If you guys are flight attendants, let me know what you wish you would have known before you became a flight attendant in the comments down below, and maybe I can relate to it or somebody else can relate to it as well, and I will definitely appreciate it, and maybe we can get to chatting. So thank you guys again so much for watching. Thank you for making it till the end. Don't forget to follow me on social media, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.
Recall when we were young, running from all things that